As most of us know, 4.0.2 isn't a feature-rich patch and is mostly dedicated to stability and bug fixing, as will be most of the incoming patches. We'll take a look at their progress with that in a bit, but first let's take a look at the shiny new things there are to look forward to. As you might have heard, 3 more ships are making their way to the in-game dealerships for your credit grinding pleasure. The RSI Zeus ships are now available at Lorville, the Zeus CL 6.8 million, the Zeus CL 4.2. PTU prices don't often reflect what they'll cost in live, where they end up getting an adjustment, so we'll see where they end up with that. Starlancer Max is supposed to be in over at Area 18, but it's not yet. Once it is, when that happens, it'll be the first Mythic ship that goes up for sale there.
So?
Supply or Die, the grimy Pyro version of Jumptown, except not exactly. You got options. If you go boost to the ground, you got a bum rush Xeno threat and other players to get to a resource that's in demand, but if you want to go the non-shooty route, you can also mine, trade, or salvage your way through it. The payouts are insane, upwards of 24 million credit. But the supplies ain't free, so a big chunk of that will be recouping your cost. Still good money. There's also 3 hangar rewards that you can earn by accumulating points as you participate in the event. One of the rewards is a livery, which is enough to motivate your boy, because nothing makes your space whip feel like it got that new ship smell all over again, like a fresh paint job. It's good that CIG is keeping the content rolling despite the slowdown on features for the sake of diverting resources towards stability and playability. There's always been a lot of opportunities to forge new content with the available features, so glad to finally see that playing out. Speaking of playability, where they at with that? Falling through tram floors has been fixed. Load times aren't exactly quick, but they're a far cry from those long waits where you could watch a good chunk of Star Trek lower decks. So you still got time to grab a drink, but not enough to make a sandwich. Unless you're Azzy-Wrath and just eat plain meat and bread. Not gonna lie, I've been too scared to try this, but supposedly falling through the Pyro outpost buildings has been fixed. I'm sure a lot of folks have just stopped going in the buildings, period, so may the force be with this fix. Random power drops in ship resource allocations are now good to go. Weapons appearing powered off but still firing, that's good now. So is docked ships clipping into stations. There's been improvement to abandoned ships getting cleaned up when they shouldn't, so more salvage for you. 890 jump missions not completing is fixed. Items falling off you like you all baby oiled up at the storage access points, then losing interaction when you try and pick them back up, that's fixed. Looks like all the quantum travel issues are remedied. Premature stopulation during travel, U-turning in the middle of travel, all good. These right here were PTU only issues, but the star map would sometimes be empty, or when they were working, you couldn't use the search bar, which me and I'm sure you too use 90% of the time. Plus you had to pixel hunt or use the shortcut commands to confirm the destination. All fixed up now. What is still being worked on, my friend? Elevators. This hasn't been an easy one to fix. In fact, I imagine this will take some real time. From a player-facing perspective, elevators are noticeably better, but how likely is that accounted for by it being in a PTU environment? On the developer side, looks like the elevators are now actually present, but the call button stopped functioning, which for the player, the result's the same. My personal experience has been that the elevators work more often than live, but sometimes you'll have to try a couple of them before you get to a good one. Also, sometimes the door will open, but with no elevator presence, so watch your step. The devs note that a lot of work has been done on this, but it'll remain a key issue to improve until they're happy with the result. I haven't had any issues with trains and shuttles myself. Maybe there's specific gateways, which I never use, but they're in the known issues listed as critical for never arriving. This is one that's been killing me since 4.0 release, but I could never get traction on the issue council reports. You leave boxes or cargo on your ship in the hangar, leave the hangar, it gets auto-stored or you stored it yourself. When you return to the hangar and recall your ship, your boxes and or cargo are now gone. Some thieves in the warehouse or something. In live, this mostly happens in Pyro and Pyro Gate, so just throw your boxes in the freight elevator if you decide to leave the hangar. There's also instances of that preventing use of the cargo grid. I've not seen or heard about that either, but it's on the list. Also, mission markers are missing in the tutorial, which blocks progressing through it. PvP missions not working, party members not appearing on maps, asteroids inside the jump tunnel, nice little fatal obstacle to navigate. I've had near misses with some right outside the exit. I haven't seen them in the inside, but outside the exit. Good way to get the adrenaline up. Failing a jump point, which places the player far away from the gateway station. Not really mad at that one. Jumping through a wormhole should have some stakes involved. Plus, it would give Starfarer owners an opportunity to earn profit like a good Ferengi. So if you didn't know, good old box missions, courier missions were originally returned in 4.0.2, but there was a problem with the boxes spawning and the missions were removed again. Shout out to the devs for going to the mattresses on the bugs. The known issue list at the beginning of 4.0.2 was longer than a Lord of the Rings credit roll, but There's a particular set of ships that it takes 0 particular sets of skills to enter. Anybody that has a hammerhead, A90 jump, Polaris, maybe any ship that has a station docking collar. Those ships can be accessed by anybody. My man Shiro has had his Polaris stolen twice in a day. I've had mine boarded with the doors closed while docked. My man Gotti got boarded while he was waiting at a jump gate. The whole sea is widely known just to let folks mosey on through the EVA door. $500 to $1,000 ships with less security than an Aurora ain't the ticket to confident purchases, so a little love in that department would be appreciated. Just as much as the issue with folks taking a leisurely stroll into ships that require docking, this also needs some immediate attention. I and a lot of folks have become too scared to leave the pilot seat in quantum travel for fear of falling through the floor and the ship leaving without you. It doesn't happen every time, but it happens enough that it's a gamble that's best avoided. Doesn't seem to happen in the Polaris, at least not to me or anybody I've asked, but most other ships seem to have some kind of RNG that activates the Star Trek phasing cloak on the floors and you get yeetified into space. Hey, go enjoy those dope interiors or get yourself prepped during quantum rides when you in danger of falling through an invisible trapdoor at any moment. Unless you dying of thirst or hunger, just best to stay seated till you drop out of quantum to bite that soggy burrito that's been sweating in your backpack. Make sure you contribute to the issue council report so your game gets fixed. A lot of critical things get archived because 1 or 2 people will report them and either nobody will contribute or they'll create an identical report. So do your best to see if it's already been reported. Also, there's folks out there tagging reports as duplicates when they're not even close. I don't know if CIG gives them a cookie for the volume of reports they engage with, but it works against things getting fixed. Anywho, go ahead and shift your body so that you leaning on the other cheek while you watch this next vid for no reason. Big Cheddar Biscuit shout out to the executive producer, Patreons in the building, Eyes Open 2018, Lone Wolf and the Huntress. Thank you for all your support. Shout out to all the fam, Patreons, YouTube members, and super chatters. Appreciate your boss. Fly dirty citizens.